All right. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad you could make it because you are the reason we have a children's ministry, or else we would just have children running around.
Like we do now.
Yes, like over there. So, this is just like a recap of what we should hopefully know, and if we don't, that's why we're going over it. So, for daycare, that's the 9 a.m. hour. Melissa Cox is in charge of that one. She helps with that. And then we have Donna for the nursery, Jessica's doing preschool, and Joanna has elementary. And then I am the superintendent, which means I just make sure things are happening. I have answers sometimes. So that is what we have for that. If you have never registered to be part of children's ministry, like ever, we have these forms in the front. If you could fill one out and leave it by the end of today. Just a volunteer registration form. It's if you've never filled one out before, we ask that you do that. Otherwise, we already have it, so you don't have to do that. Okay. Okay, so I think I lost it, John. Wait. I got it. I turned it off. Still? No? Gone? Gone. Gone. Still gone? Still gone. Are we? Oh, okay. All right. So fall kickoff is coming up here in a couple of weeks, like Olin said in church. And so normally during fall kickoff, the church launches a lot of programs, and we have a lot of things happening. And so in children's ministry, we are launching a huge program. And so that's all starting on September 10th, Sunday, September 10th. So the new name of our children's ministry will be called World Changers. That's awesome. Yeah, we want the kids to actually have something exciting to go to instead of, I'm going to kids' church, which is kind of lame and boring. So we want them to be pumped up and excited, and we're hoping you guys are too. So right now we're working on coming up with a verse that matches this, so if anybody has any ideas, that would be great. We're going to come up with a logo. We're going to have a whole thing around World Changers, because we want these kids to know that we are here to change the world for Jesus. So that's the goal for that one. So with this, we're going to be moving some things, which I know no one likes to move. But in terms of, there's a whole reason behind vacuum security. So as Olin said in church today, the hub is moving over to the breezeway. So if we leave the kids over here, no one's going to ever check them in. So we're moving everything back that way. I'll have a map that comes up here in just a second to show you guys. But we have a couple of rooms over there. So there's rooms 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there's those double doors. And that's where everything will be at, all 4 classes. Well, including daycare will be over there as well. We're also going to have a new format for Sunday school. So it's not just going to be, you have the entire hour and a half to find a way to keep these kids paying attention and entertained. So instead of that, we're breaking it down to a big group, small group thing, most similar to VBS style. So we'll go over that a little bit. That's just a preview of that. Yes. So we're going to have new security procedures involved in this, and that's just because we just don't want anything bad to ever happen. And so we're just trying to take as much precaution as we can, especially today when there's so many crazy things happening. And so moving everything over there, the parents will not have access into the check-in, check-out room at all. They will absolutely not be able to go in there. I mean, unless the kid is having a breakdown or something and they need their parent. But if there's no other reason, the parents will not be able to go in there. We will bring the kids to the parents, and it's just right next to each other. So it'll make it a lot easier for everyone. And the teachers and volunteers do not have to worry about security check-in or check-out whatsoever. You don't even have to worry about collecting the tickets anymore or nothing. Not at all. So that's going straight to the security team. One less thing for you to worry about, which is great. Okay, and let's see. And we're starting a new curriculum, which is awesome. And this will fit. And it is really wrapped around to age-wise, so preschool will be much easier to understand. Yes. So, yay. So yes, and then it'll match our VBS style So it'll be big group setting, small group setting, and then big group again with the curriculum. So that'll be awesome. And then here is our little map. So the little star over here is where the check-in and check-out will be. It's just the double doors down the hall here. So that's the little star. And then these 4 rooms with colors, let me go back. This is where we will all be at. So over in the Cradle Bowl room will be the nursery. And then we'll have Tiny Tots is where preschool is now. They're not going anywhere. This one will be the elementary room, and then this is where everyone will check in is the kindergarten room. So I think this is 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think. Something like that. So what'll happen is everyone will come this way. This place over here will no longer be accessible for parents. They'll all come in here, and then they'll check in here. And then the kids will just go straight across the hall into this room. And that's where we'll meet, and then after a while, we'll break into our classrooms, and then at the last 15, 20 minutes, we'll all come back here again, and then the parents will just come check out, and the kids will go. So that way it's all confined, no one can go anywhere. Yes?
So is that door that people come in from over there, is that going to be shut and nobody comes in that way?
Yes, that is correct.
So I don't need greeters there anymore?
Yes.
I guess not.
Well, because it would block the check-in.
Oh, yeah. So, and then the reason for having these here is because, well, these guys have access to a bathroom right here if they need to go. And then these guys, the elementary, can just walk right here to the bathroom, which I know has been a concern in the past. Yeah, because all the way over there to over here is a bit of a walk. So this will make it a lot easier. And then you just have to walk around the corner to go back. So that's, we're trying to confine it, make it less. Yeah.
So, all kids, and nursery included, will be checking in at the star,
Yes.
go to the kindergarten.
Yes.
The teachers will take them from the kindergarten room to, all the teachers will take them to their respective rooms.
Yes. That is
So all the teachers will meet in the kindergarten room.
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I'll go over that a little bit more in just a minute.
So no more than one room? Huh? No more than
No.
3 in one room?
No, not in the quiet room anymore. It'll just be right here. That's where it was before. So we're going to go back to that room for a few reasons.
And there's still a TV in there.
Yes, there is still a TV in there,
The
so
nursery people can still
yeah,
see the
you can
service.
still see. And here.
And here, yes, maybe.
Maybe.
Depends on the crowd.
Okay, so this is going to be our new format for how this is going to look. And I know it's kind of weird being color-coded, but I'll step you through it. So the red sections are what we're doing together, and then the green section is what is happening in the small group classrooms. So what's going to happen is for the first 4, everyone's checking into the kinder room. And then we have a couple of worship songs together to pump kids up, get them excited. And then the nursery will be dismissed, or if they need to be dismissed earlier for whatever, they can just go to the cradle room. And then we'll have a game together, preschool and elementary, and then we'll have a cool down song to get them to focus a little more, and then we'll be dismissed. So that'll be about 30-ish minutes altogether. And then once they dismiss to their other classrooms, they'll walk over. You'll have your specified lesson for the age group, and then you'll have a craft. And then with this particular lesson that we're doing, the craft is super easy to follow, and it works perfectly with the lesson, so it all flows together super nicely. And then after that, I want to say we'll have a timetable specific, but about 15-ish minutes before the service ends, we're going to go all the way back to the kinder room, and everyone will have snack together. Now for nursery, you guys don't have snack.
Really?
I mean, you can. You guys can have snack. But you guys would just come over before the service is over. I mean, you're not as scheduled because you don't feed your kids snacks. But you can come over. And then the main thing is just so that they're all in the same room at checkout time so the parents can come and get them. So this whole thing is a lot different because it involves a lot more people in one space at the same time. So with the beginning portion, I have discussed with the coordinators, and we've decided that between preschool, elementary, and myself,
Olin,
um,
here's your sandwich. Sorry.
we will lead the first chunk of it. So Donna and the nursery, you don't have to worry about that. But you don't have to. Unless you want to lead it, and then you can. But we will lead the first chunk of it. So the main thing is that the 2 teachers, or I guess the 6 teachers, 2 from nursery, preschool, and elementary, will all be in the same room, and we'll all be like helping administer with the kids, but we'll be the ones leading the songs and administering or facilitating the game. And so with that, you guys just have to have fun pretty much. Have a fun worship session. And just enjoy the game. And then afterward, we'll have like chords and stuff to get kids from one room to the next. But from there, you will take your kids into your classrooms, and you'll have about 45 minutes worth of time, so you won't have an hour and a half to entertain, which is great. So you'll have about 45 minutes to go into your class, teach your lessons, do the craft, and then come back again. And at that time, it is just you and your class. And then you'll come back, and then we'll all be here for a checkout. So if anyone in the security needs help identifying the kids, they can be like, hey, I need so-and-so, and then we can just grab them and bring them forward. Okay, let's see. All right, so like I was saying with the security procedures, teachers no longer have to worry about that, the collecting and making sure everything is stamped, so that's good. We're taking that less burden from you guys and giving it to the security team, which is great. But what we need is people who are interested in learning how to work check in and check out. You don't have to be part of the security team per se, but we just need people who are interested in doing it, because right now we have a couple of people, but the schedule sometimes always seems to go crazy and then we're always missing something. So we just need a backup list. If you're interested in doing that, we're going to have the security team help train them. We really want the security team and the check-in to be linked together. So that way you understand at the check-in why we're doing it. It's not just like, oh, let's check in these kids. You know if something were to happen, you know the exactly procedures that we would need to follow to do that. And I've already talked to Frank about this, the head of security, and he is very interested in making everyone up to speed, getting them good to go. And with that, we also have new technology, which I know is kind of scary, but it actually makes it way simpler. So instead of having the computer and all the wires and the printer that sometimes works, we're going to have a tablet or a small mobile device where all you have to do is type in the kid's name, and then the printer will just automatically shoot it out. Everything's pretty much going to be cordless except for the printer, which needs power. But the printer works so much better. And so it's actually really not that difficult to do. You don't have to input anything but the kid's name. And then when they check out, it's as easy as just taking a picture. Literally. So it's... No, absolutely not. That's always not.
I'm not sure the age is the problem. Just saying.
They saved you
Well, here's your sandwiches. Olin took the barbecue chips.
So if we're going to have a list passed around in just a little bit if you're interested in learning, and you don't have to commit at this point, but if you're just interested in learning, please sign up so we can help you with that and get you more involved. Alright, so we also have this new curriculum which I am super excited about because it gives us so much time for preparation. Because I know a lot of the big issue is sometimes we don't get it out soon enough, sometimes we have a last minute call or whatever it is. Now we can have weeks of preparation time, which is awesome. So, yeah, I'm excited. So the way this is going to work is this curriculum that we have, I can customize it to be big group and small group and age appropriate, which is awesome. And you guys don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to worry about is getting it from me. So that's it. So what's going to happen is the game, the worship, the craft, and the lesson will all link together. It'll all be the same theme for the day for the same lesson material. So as you go through, everything is linked. Sometimes we just have random silly games, but at least these sometimes random silly games will somehow make an impact on the lesson, which is awesome. With that, these also call for more supplies. Now, we're not asking you guys to bring supplies. You are always more than welcome to, but we have our wonderful coordinators here who would love to help you out getting those supplies. We do have a budget to get supplies. We just have to know what you need. And so every week that you have the lesson, you can go through and it'll give you a block of information, and in it, it'll tell you, you need this, 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 and this. And so, if you want to get that yourself, you're more than welcome to. But like I said, we have supplies. We have a lot of supplies, actually. A lot. So, if you need something, or if maybe the coordinators have contacted you already, whatever it is, just let us know, and we can get it to you, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just one extra step. Alright. Okay. So now, oh, I already switched it. Good job, me. So we're going to be moving to a monthly scheduling rotation. And I know that sounds kind of scary, but bear with me through it, because there's a lot of great benefits from it. So, let's see here. One thing is that this will help eliminate the burnout that most of us feel throughout the year. A lot of us, we volunteer for so many ministries, or we are constantly like volunteering for this class, and then this class, and then this class, or we get to the summer and we're just like, whew, we're done. And at that point, we don't really have anybody to step in and fill your place, so you still kind of feel like you struggle along, and then you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm done, and then we struggle to fill that spot. So to prevent that, and to keep everyone refreshed and excited about it, what we're doing is we're asking everyone to volunteer 2 to 3 months per year total. That's it. Which is the same amount of time, if not less, than what you're already doing. It's just in one chunk instead of the entire year. So for example, you could do January and July, and the rest of the time you have off to do whatever it is you do. You don't have to worry about finding someone to take your spot if you're going on vacation or whatever that is. So that burnout is something we just don't want to happen to you guys, because we want you to be excited about teaching and not feel like it's a chore. Because we're helping these little ones learn about Jesus. And it's hard to do when we're feeling the pull of it, the pull and strain. So, and the best part is you get to pick. You get to pick when you go. So you can be like, oh yeah, July, I'm going on vacation. Cool, have fun. You know, we can schedule you when you're ready. Right? One of the biggest issues that I've seen, and this isn't anybody's fault, is that the kids don't exactly know who you are. Instead of saying your name, they say, teacher, teacher. And it's like, oh, you guys have been their teachers for a very long time now, and a lot of them don't know who you are, which is sad. You know them, but they only see you once a month. So it's hard for them to really bond with you. And going monthly, you really get a chance to invest in them and for them to invest in you. So we really want that bonding experience to happen, because it'll help them to learn that as well. You'll learn how to really instruct to those particular kids, and they'll learn how to learn from you, which is awesome. Which is great too, because it makes lesson time more cohesive from week to week. Because I know a lot of you wanted to do incentives, like bring your Bible every week, and you can have this piece of candy, or whatever, but you can't do that if you're only there once a month, because from week to week the teachers aren't always doing that. So you can choose through your month, if you're going to do incentives, you can choose to have certain crafts if you wanted to, or whatever it is to help you to connect to your class and to reach them better, you can do that. You can teach them whatever style suits you too. Instead of last minute reading the lesson and just going word for word through the script, you have time to personalize it on a week-to-week basis. So you're going to get, like if you choose the month of January, you're going to get all of January's lessons at once. Handed to you. You're getting it all handed to you at once, so you have so much time to look at it. And I'm going to give it to you before the Sunday time. Yes.
Does that include the nursery workers too?
For the scheduling?
Yeah, the scheduling.
So yes, we would love to include every class in the monthly scheduling. So we're going to pass out a registration sheet a little bit later. If you could, like, fill it out. I know some people have extenuating circumstances and absolutely cannot, but if you pull through with me, don't let it scare you yet. So we'll get there. All right. So as you teach through the week, you have your whole series in your hand. We're going to give it to you more than just like a day or two in advance. You're going to have it a couple weeks in advance, if possible. And so you're going to have all this time to prepare and to set the entire curriculum to how you best teach and how you feel like these kids best receive it, which is awesome because right now we just kind of fly in. So, another thing I've noticed, and someone actually said very well, is that right now we all kind of function as substitute teachers. You know, we come in, we fly in once a month, and we just do our best to cater to these kids. We try so hard to grab their attention, but they don't really know us very well, and so we're just kind of like the substitute for the day. But if you are the teacher for the month, you actually become the teacher. You have full control of your classroom. It's not going to change from week to week because you're going to be there. And you'll have the ability to talk to these kids and function with them to help them learn through the series. And you become their teacher, and they respect you as a teacher, understand you're the teacher, and you're not just someone they're filling in, which is awesome. So, and then, yeah, you can take complete control of your lesson material. I'm not going to tell you how the best way to teach this. So you guys get the control back of how to teach it. You don't have last minute, oh, I don't know how to do this, I'm just going to read it from there. You can plan. We have lots of supplies for you guys. We have cork boards that we're going to implement in. Now, we couldn't really do it before because we didn't have time to prepare with it. But now, how many pieces, Jess? Like 1,200 pieces?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Hundreds.
Hundreds of pieces of felt.
Hundreds of pieces
too.
Yeah.
that had to be cut.
So we have,
One at a time.
yeah,
For hours.
they are wonderful. So now we have all these materials available to you to help prepare. So if you need whiteboards, felt boards, chalkboards, whatever it is to help you teach these classes, we can get it for you, or we already have it for you. And you can totally use those materials. Yeah, and the biggest thing about you taking control of the lesson is you'll feel more ownership over the class. Because I know right now, it's like once a month, so you just come in and you kind of do your thing and then you go. But this way you can really invest in it. You can bring whatever props and curriculum, like extras, that you can to really dive into these kids. It's not just a once a month and done type of thing. You know throughout your month that you're excited and ready to go and to bring these kids Jesus. Okay. And we talked about that. You'll have lots of lesson prep time. The lessons come out quarterly. So like right now, we're about to purchase it and we have it already from the beginning of the quarter that we just missed. So you'll have it like as soon as we purchase it up until the next quarter, and then when the next quarter comes out, we'll send it out again. So you'll have like months and weeks, or weeks, if not months, of time to look over this material, and if you have questions, ask and situate it out. And so with this new curriculum, like I said before, you don't have an hour and a half to fill anymore. It's not just on you. We only have about 45 minutes of lesson and craft time in the classroom. Yes. So we'll have 30 minutes in the big room, about 45 minutes in the classroom, and the ending 15 minutes back together. So that way, I know a lot of times it's hard to fill that extra time to get those kids to not go crazy on you. So this way, it's a little bit more intimate when it needs to be, and then when they need their energy out, they have plenty of time to do it, which is awesome. And the biggest concern from you guys, I know, is that I'm missing a month of the sermon in Big Church. And yes. Which way? Over this way. So, the biggest issue I know a lot of you are facing is I don't want to miss the sermon. And we totally understand that. And we don't want you to miss the sermon either. But that's why we have it recorded every week. And we have it available for you in any means that you need. I will find a way to get it to you. If you need it on a VHS, I will find a way. I will get it to you. So, we don't want you to say, I know it's a different experience, but if you think about it, it's only 2 months or 3 months out of the year versus every week for an entire year. You get time off, absolutely. And we will give you the sermon and anything else you might miss. I know for the nursery, they have it in there with them. So you'll be in there, you'll have the TV, you'll be good to go. Daycare, You're not missing this right now. You're at 9 a.m. But the reason we want everything on the same scheduling, we want everyone to be on monthly, is because first off, it's much easier for us who are doing scheduling to get everyone to commit to a certain time, and then we have backups because of that. We will have the ability now to have a sub list. So let's say you are in the month of August, and for some reason you couldn't make today, for whatever reason, no problem. We have an entire sub list of teachers who are on reserve waiting. Exactly. And so right now the issue we're having is everyone is always serving all year round. And so when they say, oh, we need someone to fill in, you're like, oh, I just did my week last week. I don't feel like I can really do it right now, which we understand. But at least this way, when we move to monthly, not every teacher will always be working at the same time. And so we'll actually have people to pull from. So that way, if I'm working in August, and Jessica's working in December, she can come and fill for me in August and be okay with it. She's not going to feel that burnout. Yeah, burnout is not good. And if you are that person who absolutely, for whatever reason, cannot do monthly, you have some commitment or something or whatever, we still need people for the sub list. We absolutely do. So don't feel like we're kicking you out because you can't commit an entire time. That's absolutely fine. We don't want to kick you out. We want you. So please still sign up for the sub list because we're going to need to call on you. There's going to be people who are sick. There's going to be people who went on vacation. Whatever it is, we still need you. So we don't want to kick you out. We like you. Alright. Now, if you have a lot of feedback, I apologize in advance, but if you tell me right now, I'm probably not going to remember it because my brain is a little crazy with this thing here. So, please email me so I can read it and I can respond to it a lot better and remember. If you have any questions, of course, tell me. But if you have like a lot of feedback about how something that was said, please just email me. That would be great. Yes.
So maybe if I'm hearing you right, is maybe one of the benefits to a teacher could be that would they be able to sneak in the first 15-20 minutes of the service, take in the worship, the musical song service, and come back at the end? Is that?
Well, I'll put it this way. You can't all go together because we need the teachers in the room. So if
Teachers who are not helping with
yes.
the music time for the kids could have an
Yeah,
opportunity.
so that is something we would have to arrange ahead of time. It's not something that, because we need more than one person to watch an entire room of kids to do worship. And the more hands, the easier it is. So, I mean, of course, if, your son or daughter or grandchild or whoever was on stage, we could find a way to get you in there and someone else to fill the spot. But there's all of you at once would not be.
No. Not everybody at once, but it would definitely be a benefit that you would have the potential.
Yes. Yes, it's just something we would need to know ahead of time, not last minute.
And you have two for each age group, right?
Yes, at least two.
So at least one should sit in the age group and then the other could,
Yes.
just a
Something
suggestion.
like
Yeah, we have at least four doing music already.
Yeah, we would at least have a decent amount doing music, so, yes. But that is a good question that we can work out the details with. Are there any, yes?
The people that you were talking about checking in,
Uh-huh.
are they actually teachers as well? Is that a separate group?
So what I would prefer is if they were not teachers for that particular day or month, or whatever it is.
And is that the same kind of thing where they're taking it for a month?
At this point, I don't believe so.
Okay.
It depends how many people sign up, really. Because if we only have 2 people sign up, then they're going to have to go on a 2-week basis, 2 and 2 or off and on. It just kind of depends on how many people sign up. The more people that sign up, most likely not. There's no real need to go monthly for this one, as long as we have the schedule in place and good. It kind of depends on Frank, really. So we'll have to talk when we get the sign-up list. I'll talk to Frank and see what he feels is best for the security team, because the security team directly interacts with the check-in station. We'll still have the radios, because I think that's still an important part. And so they have the radios and whatnot as well. And if Frank feels that it's better to have consistency for a month, then we'll go that way. But I think it should be fine without going monthly on security. And then if you were doing check-in and check-out, the time frame for that would be about 8:45-ish to like 9:15. But we could also find someone else who's already here at that time to do that. But then the main thing would be about 9:45 to about 10:20, and then right after service, pretty much. So it's like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours maybe for check-in during the day, depending on what you do. Are there any other questions about that, or anything we went over? Because it's quite a lot of things that will be happening on kickoff.
Are you discussing special needs stuff right now?
Oh, I can. Should I?
If you, I can or you can.
Together.
Tag team.
Okay, so, and then we also know another concern has been, we have some special needs kids who definitely need attention, and we're not always sure how to cater to them in a way that makes them feel included and safe. And so we have been doing our homework in trying to find out these ways. So we've been doing some, I don't want to say investigating, but research. And we've been talking to the parents of these children to better know how to make them feel more welcome so that they may not have certain... Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, and each child is different too. You can't just generalize them and be like, okay, well everyone with this has to be dealt with this and this and this. And so we're trying to better communicate with the parents so we can better help these children so that they can learn better and be a better part of children's ministry. So on top of that, after we talk to the parents, we're going to try to have someone come in, right, to help us with that. So yeah, we'll have another meeting here as soon as we can figure out, talk to these parents. We're going to have someone come in and help us to learn how to instruct children who might have these needs. It's your turn.
And the only reason I use the microphone is because I know that they're recording this. Let me just kind of flesh it out a little bit from the leadership perspective. Is we know that we have a higher amount of special needs kids than a normal group. If you just look at the percentage of the kids who are special needs that we have. Okay, so we know it's something that we need to be aware of. And listen, the thing that we want Toulouse you to do is to be the best Sunday school teachers that you can be. Okay, and by equipping you with the right curriculum and stuff, that goes a long way toward that. But like we've been saying the last couple of weeks in service, this is the most challenging job in the church. Because not only are you there to teach, but you need to have kind of an understanding of how to meet the needs of the different children who are there. We have some folks who have ADHD. We have some folks that have Asperger's. We have a couple who are just hyperactive by nature. And so what we need to know as a church is what are the unique needs of each individual child. And so what we're gonna ask you to kind of partner with us on is kind of identifying what those things are. Those of you who have been teachers in the classes, you already know what those individual needs are. Okay, you know that certain people are going to dive under the table, certain people are going to drive conversations, certain people are going to take control from you and try and through no fault of their own, they're going to try to bring the Sunday school class the way that they want it to go. It's just like adults, when we're fiery about something, we're going to speak up about it, and sometimes children don't understand how to interact with one another in that context, and it makes it difficult for us as teachers to do that. So all that to say is what we want to do is we want to be able to assemble a profile for each student. Okay, we want to know what are the unique needs of every student. And then by doing that, hopefully we're able to say to each parent, how can we partner with you to most effectively reach your student? For instance, just say that my son Sam, I'm just going to use him as an example, and I don't know that he has anything, but let's just say that Sam is an ADHD child, okay? And what are the main markers for ADHD? If we had to write them up on the chalkboard, I doubt that many of us could complete that list. But what we want you to know is what are the easiest strategies for you to reach those children. And listen, I'm not trying to burden you with more education. I'm not trying to burden you with more awareness. But if you've taught in there, you know that it's a very difficult thing sometimes to corral a group of 14 to 16 students. And then if you add the special needs of a lot of those children, it can be difficult. Okay? Anybody think I'm not telling the truth right there? So we want to be real about that. So the two things that we're going to ask of each of our parents as their part is, is there a recognized, diagnosed situation that your child deals with? Okay, we want to know what that is, not because we're being nosy, just because we want to know how best to help meet the challenges of communicating the gospel to that child. That is the main thing. We want to figure out how to most effectively teach the gospel to the children. Okay, so number one, we want to know what that is, just like we would want to know what a peanut allergy is. Just like we would want to know, if there's something that's going to kill your child, that they're fed. So that's one thing. The other thing that we want to know is how can we partner with your family to effectively teach your child the gospel. So let's just say that at home, we do not spank Sam. Okay, we don't spank Sam. So I wouldn't want to bring my child to your class and know that you spanked Sam. Okay. Now, that's obviously an extreme example because we don't do corporal punishment, there's no spanking anymore. But to give you that extreme example, as if your child doesn't respond to a timeout, I don't want to give him a timeout. But the only way for me to understand how to effectively reach your child is I need to know what is your strategy in your home. How do you reach the child in your home, and how can we partner with them to do that? For instance, sometimes Sam will run off at the mouth and he'll try to steal a conversation. Do I tell him? Do I look at him and say, Sam, please stop? Or is the only way to let him finish his thought? Is that the only way that I'm going to be able to help Sam? Okay? You have to know that. And unfortunately, you have to know that for each child. So yes, there is an added weight to that. But we want to do this research in a way that will give you the information that you need on each child. Not that we're looking to single out children, not that we're looking to make them feel bad for whatever it is that they face, but we want to more effectively teach them the gospel by knowing how they are more effectively reached with the thing that they deal with, whether it be Asperger's or ADHD or high-functioning autism or hyperactive disorder, whatever it is. And it's not a bad thing. It's just we need to know so that we can know how to reach the children properly. Okay? So as we learn more about that, we're going to ask the parents. We're going to be physically and one-on-one and in surveys asking them, how can we reach you? What's the best way for us to do that? And as we get that information, we'll give that information to you. We'll have another class like this, and we'll go through each child and say, God loves Sam, but Sam needs this. And if we can tell all of you at one time that Sam needs this, you're all going to be well ahead of the game. And because we want what's best for your family, and we want what's best for the church, and we want what's best for the gospel of Jesus Christ. So that's what we're trying to achieve there. And we have identified that it seems like we have a higher ratio of those children in our fellowship. So we want to make sure to take care of that need the best that we can. Okay. Any questions on that? That's kind of what we've talked through. We're looking at on the leadership team level. We're looking at on Stephanie and I are working on that. And you're going to hear from us on that as we move forward, so that we can gather that information, collate it the best we can, and then give you strategies that will help us meet those needs. Okay.
Okay. So to back up just a few little bits ago, With the fall kickoff, we are still having this new setup. Are there any questions about that? I mean, the coordinators all kind of know what's going on. Yeah?
Childcare from 9 to 10.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So they're all still going to check in at the breezeway, and they're all just going to go into the kinder room and just hang out there.
And then when the teacher dismissed and will dismiss too, will we go into room 4 from 9 to 10?
So from 9 to 10
Or just stay there?
you're just going to stay right in there.
Okay.
Yep, no need to move them. And then when you guys are done, the new group of teachers should be already coming in, so it should cover. So also try to get there like 5 to 10 minutes early, not like at the turn of when you're supposed to be there, because by that time we might be missing you and needing you. So just a heads up on that one. The coordinators will all be there. Well, minus myself because I'll be with youth, but we'll all be there on the 10th. So if you have any questions about timing or like where you should be going or how this is working, we all have a general good grasp of it so far. I mean, there's going to be some bumps in the beginning, but it'll flush out pretty quickly. Yeah.
Are you changing anything for the childcare hour? I mean, they still just come and play and we hang out and all
Yes.
that?
Yeah, I mean, if you want a lesson, like we can get you a lesson by all means, or you can bring your own lesson, or you can play.
We're having fun.
Yeah, and that's fine.
It's great.
That's absolutely fine. And even for daycare, if you guys need anything, like if you want snacks or if you need a certain toy or something's broken or whatever, please let us know.
We do need toys for the babies.
Oh.
Since we have a little baby in there,
Yeah,
she
we
can't quite play with those games.
Didn't even think about that. Awesome. Okay.
They can grab
We'll get
anything they want, but you know, toys.
Yes. And so with these moves, so the elementary room has the big box right now, or daycare elementary has the big box of games. I know in the past some teachers have felt like it's a distraction going into elementary with all these games around, but that's also going to be solved because it's just going to stay in that room. It's never going to go into the elementary room at all, ever. So we'll just have that one in there, and we'll have a list, like a laminated list of what should be in there, what you can expect to find. And then the same with nursery. I know the nursery stuff is kind of a big mess right now. I'm going to be tackling that pretty soon, trying to figure out what's ours, what's broken, what's working and not. And I will also create a list for that so we know what is ours. And we'll also work on, in the cradle room, finding out if we have any storage capabilities so we can implement toys that will better facilitate for the high active infant or younger toddlers, and then versus the infants. Because for example, Reese, she's pretty quiet, and then Joseph is pretty active. So 2 different needs. We're working to fill that so you don't have to worry about that. Are there any questions about that? Because that's a big change, is moving to the VBS style. Does it make pretty much a lot of sense? And I will definitely let you know ahead of time, like what's going on, give you the times for everything, especially if you're working right then. Jessica sent around a couple of lists. Are they somewhere? Does somebody have those sign-up lists?
They're over here.
Okay, awesome, sweet. So we do have a couple of lists going around. I meant to circulate them sooner and I forgot. So we have 3 lists right now. We have a monthly sign-up list. Now it says sign up to at least 5 months. We're not scheduling you for 5, so don't freak out. That's not happening. The max we would ever do is 3, but the reason for 5 is because if everyone chooses January and December and only picks 2 months, we can't all put you in January and December. We just need a little bit of flexibility. So if you know you're going to be gone all of summer, please do not mark any summer boxes. But just sign up for at least, or up to 5, or max 5, minimum 5, sorry. Minimum of 5 boxes, so that we can just have room for scheduling. So we're not scheduling you when you don't want to be, but at the same time, you're not all requesting the same months. Just makes our life a little bit easier. We're also sending around the security interest list, so if you're interested in that, please sign up and we'll contact you as soon as we can get that meeting going. And then the 3rd list is the sub list. So if you are interested in being on that, I mean, you can, if you're already a teacher, we're gonna assume you're on the sub list already, so you're signing up for monthly. Or you can just put on both. If you feel like, yeah, I really want to sub even though I'm on the monthly, either way, but we're still gonna kind of assume, because that's what we do. So, but please sign up for something on those lists, because that's kind of, like I said, if it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't even have a children's ministry. There'd be no Sunday school. We can't do it without you. So, and I know that there are some people who are not here today, but you can gladly direct them my way because we've recorded it all, so we can share it with our friends. Yes. So, are there any questions about any of that? Anything at all? Last call. Did I miss anything? Good?
I think you covered everything
So
we
too.
talked about.
Okay, awesome. So please don't leave without checking out those lists. I'm sorry that I didn't send them out sooner. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feedback, or whatever, please email me or call me. Like I said, right now until I'm talking my ear off is probably not the greatest. Yeah.
Will you have a list next week? Because I need to pray about it a little longer.
Yes, absolutely. We will. So once we get the list from today, I'll probably have a new set of lists out where the sign up stuff is. I'll make sure, Gary, I'll give it to you so we can put it out there. Is that cool? Yeah, so where all the other sign up sheets are for Bible studies and stuff, we'll have it out there. And if all else fails, just go to the office or call somebody and let them know.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Absolutely. Okay. So let me pray for us in our time here, and just remember to take a look at those lists before you leave. Lord God, we thank you so much for the time we have here to just help grow your kingdom, Lord. Your children are precious, and we want in all ways that we can to help them to seek your face, Lord. You are the means for everything, and we are thankful for that. We pray that as we go through this time of change, that you just be with us, because change can be rough, but Lord, you are worth it. And we just want to build a program that can reflect your face, Lord, nothing else but you. So we pray that we can inspire these children, and we can just guide them to where you are. We thank you for this time, and we pray you help us to get home safely, and we pray for those who are not with us today, Lord, that you just be with them. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Thank you.